Hey guys, what's going on? Sly here, and welcome back to another Mass Effect video breakdown. Now, a few days ago, we were treated to not only an awesome trailer, but another initiate briefing as well. So if you haven't seen the second cinematic trailer, then check this out right here. I'll have the links where you can see the unedited video as well as all the other stuff I mentioned in that video. Now, I tried to upload the trailer itself separately so I could link it in the vid, but it was blocked the moment I tried to publish it, even though I took away any of my channel ads from playing on it. So I simply gave up on it and had to settle for a link in the description box below, which you can also find in this video if you want to check it out. This time, however, we're going to be looking at the second video that popped up the other day, and that is the initiate briefing. Most of it, it's pretty self-explanatory, and there really isn't that much hidden in the background, but there are a few nuggets of details as well as super small dialogue boxes, and also a few other things that are pretty hard to see, and that's the stuff I want to go over, because if you're a lore geek like myself, then you are all about the background story, like who they are, where they came from, what they did before this, and how all of that links into the game itself. It's all pretty important. So let's fire it up and see what we can learn about the characters of Mass Effect Andromeda. Alright, well, it starts off with the Tempest flying around in space to the narration of Cora Harper, so it immediately makes sense as to why this briefing had to be released after the second cinematic trailer. But as the Tempest flies by, it slaloms right through the middle of the Nexus, and we see the actual scale of this mobile, multi-species space station. Is absolutely huge, and from this point of view, fully constructed. As they engage their FTL drive, Cora explains that she is second in command on the human Pathfinder team. Every arc has a team, and every team has a Pathfinder with a similar setup and goal: to find so-called golden worlds, habitable planets where all species of the Milky Way can begin again. And after they drop out of FTL, we see what appears to be a galaxy map of some sort. But guys, I'm not 100% sure that this is the Andromeda Galaxy, or if this is just the Helios cluster within Andromeda. Now, most of MEA will take place within the Helios cluster, but the thing that throws me off is that massive black hole in the center. I mean, every galaxy has a supermassive black hole in its center. Some have, multiple black holes orbiting one another, but clusters usually don't. Either way, it's not that important, but what is important is trying to find a suitable world for humanity. And with that, I've always had a question. Now, since we are all a part of the Andromeda Initiative, all species coming back to one headquarters, which of course is the Nexus, are we like cooperative? Cooperative as in sometimes taking part to help our allies find a home as well, or is each team strictly looking for their home and nothing else? I know in the game we end up helping the Krogan on a mission in the beginning, but with a multi-species team aboard the Tempest itself, you would think that we would all be helping each other. And with that in mind, take a look at these pictures down here on the bottom. These snapshots are of golden worlds. Now, they don't look all that golden to me. Some appear to have quite hostile environments, and that makes me think that while it would probably suck for humans unless we stayed indoors, it would make an excellent place for a species like the Krogan. Now, regardless of my questions, you can see that any world with survivable atmosphere has been chosen as one of these golden worlds. It just goes to show you how rare Earth really is. On the bottom of these snapshots, you see some primordial worlds fresh off the evolution train, frozen worlds, deserts, and of course, the rare Goldilocks world. Now, one ominous feature in this part of the video is of course that immense black hole at the center. Personally, I believe this is the Helios cluster we're looking at, but that black hole definitely throws me off, and I somehow have a feeling that it's going to play a part in the story sooner or later. Also, if you look at where these habitats are located, notice the coloration around them. Some parts are orange, others are purple, some are blue, and it makes me think of borders on a map. Kind of like how the Milky Way was divided up into, the Terminus systems, the Traverse, places like that. So I wonder if these colors signify something similar. Anyway, guys, enough speculation. Let's just go ahead and move on. So after that, we see the black hole for one last time, and we also get a pretty nice close-up of one of the arcs. You get a good sense of the layout here. You can see the two big halves of the ship on the top and bottom, with a smaller, flatter area in between the two, jetting out from the middle. To me, it looks like the big areas are for the sleeper pods and the equipment it takes to run them, along with cargo for the journey ahead, and the middle area would probably be, the active area of the ship. Again, we don't know for sure yet, but that seems plausible to me. Moving along, we get to the meat of the briefing, and that is the background of the Pathfinder and his team. We start with the top dog, Alec Ryder, as Cora explains Ryder was on the first ship that passed through the Karen mass relay, opening up the galaxy for the rest of humanity. She also goes on to say that he has the elite rank of N7 and is also a scientist, which we will get to here in a minute. As for the small bio on the right, it simply reads, born on Earth in 2129, Alec Ryder says his love of new frontiers was fostered by a childhood in the Sierra Nevadas. According to his service record, he joined the Alliance military and was eventually signed to the John Grissom Historic Expedition through the Charon Mass Relay. His experience made him a candidate for what would be later known as the N7 training back on Earth. Alec continued military service, most notably on Shang-Chi in the First Contact War against the Turians. Later assigned as a military attaché to the Citadel in the late 2160s, Alec became interested in artificial intelligence as a mean of human advancement. So you see where his scientist tag comes from, and it plays a huge part for his entire team, as we will talk about here in a second. But his work also makes it possible to be able to choose multiple talents in different fields, where in previous games it was simply one or the other. Next up, we get a look at Liam. As Cora briefly explains, Liam specializes in crisis response. Every team needs its idealist, and Liam is ours. As for his bio on the right, it reads Liam Costa with a K by the way, and the recent Funko Pop leak a few weeks ago listed his name with a C. Anyways, Liam Costa is a human security and crisis response specialist with civilian tactical training. Liam entered university for engineering but left to train for law enforcement and later transitioned to the multi-species effort of heavy urban search and crisis response. His multidisciplinary skills set him apart, and Liam was handpicked by Alec Ryder to support the Pathfinder team. Heavy urban search and crisis response? Is there like a light urban response? Anyway, kind of a weird name, but I get the feeling Liam is like the light-hearted one of the group, breaking the ice in tense moments. As always, we're going to see soon enough. Next up, we get to see the Ryder twins, Scott and Sarah. Cora explains that they are the Pathfinder's son and daughter, fresh out of the Alliance from active duty tours with the Arcturus Station Outpost and Prothean Artifacts team. Now, they don't get the spotlight for very long, but that's kind of the point, right? We're forging our own heroes here. Two seemingly unassuming recruits who have yet to prove themselves. A blank slate for greatness, if you will. We'll start with Scott's bio, and then we'll check out Sarah's after that. So Scott's bio reads, born on the Citadel space station in 2163 with informal training aided by Alec Ryder's N7 background. Scott joined the Systems Alliance military and was assigned to an outpost near Arcturus Station, overseeing Relay 202, a primary route to Arcturus. This mass relay leads into contested space and has an unsavory reputation. Scott was trained to protect Arcturus, but also had, quote, a front row seat to everyone else going off to fortune and glory, end quote. As for Sarah's bio, it reads, born on the Citadel space station in 2163 with informal training aided by Alec Ryder's N7 background, Sarah joined the Systems Alliance military, which was continuing its search for Prothean technology after successful discoveries on Mars, initially assigned to peacekeeping duties. Sarah was approached to serve a support role for these Prothean researchers. She often describes the thrill of serving with scientists like Matea Silva on the brink of the next great discovery. That's about it, guys. Nothing too much here, but BioWare said we are making our own heroes this time around, not inheriting an already famous one. So, moving on to our last human teammate, we come to the narrator of this briefing, Cora Harper. Now, that name might sound familiar to you guys, because remember Jack Harper from Mass Effect 2 and 3? Also known as the Elusive Man. Now, that's kind of crazy, right? I'm pretty sure Cerberus is out of the picture this time around, but if we were still playing around with the old stories, you know that Cerberus would most definitely want a representative, hidden or otherwise, going to Andromeda. But I think it's pretty safe to say that Cerberus is out of the picture this time around. They had more pressing issues at the time this arc left, like, the imminent Reaper invasion. In any case, Cora goes on to describe herself as Lieutenant Cora Harper. She's a biotic and in charge of the mission's ground teams. She spent the last 4 years with an Asari commando unit and is second in command. Her bio reads, Lieutenant Cora Harper is a human biotic and formerly an officer in the Systems Alliance military. She was transferred via the Citadel Council's Valkyrie program, which is a subset of their interspecies military integration plan, and placed with the Asari commando unit, Tayan's Daughters. Now, I'm not sure about the name, it was kind of hard to read, but I think it says Taien, like Tayan's Daughters. Anyway, Cora's Huntress training and biotic capacity made her a candidate for Alec Ryder's second in command, and if warranted, his successor as Pathfinder. And now we get into something interesting here. From earlier information, we know that we become the Pathfinder when Alec Ryder gets hurt or incapacitated somehow early on in the story. So how is that a second in command and Pathfinder successor does not become the Pathfinder and we do? I guess it's something else we're going to have to learn along the way. And finally, we come to the last member of the team, Sam. Short for Simulated Adaptive Matrix, Sam is an AI created by our scientist Pathfinder, Alec Ryder. Each member of the team has an implant allowing Sam to sense everything they do, and on top of that, Sam allows for tactical enhancements of all kinds, connecting to cybernetic upgrades throughout the body, as well as tech in your armor, Omni-tool, and whatever else you pick up along the way. Sam is the reason why we can change our skills on the fly and not just choose one path like Soldier or Adept. Everything is at our disposal, and Sam makes this possible. Sam is located on the human arc Hyperion and links to every team member from there. Now there are a few questions about that, but first let's read the bio. The first Pathfinder neural implants were created by Dr. Ellen Ryder, a pioneer in human biotic implant design. While biotic implants bolster and focus electrical signals along the nervous system, Pathfinder implants go a step further by connecting to not only the nervous system, but circulation, endocrine function, and extroceptive senses. Synced with an artificial intelligence, the implant reveals their full potential. The implant is a two-way connection, giving full insight into the host's physical and mental state while allowing it to generate and alter electrical signals along its host's neural pathways that the body processes as its own. Sounds like a very useful but very risky alteration. If rogue, the AI could easily kill the entire team with just one chemical imbalance or just one biotic mistake, maybe even explosion. Perhaps even overload the implant itself. While the upside sounds amazing, it is definitely a risk that could be exploited. In any case, this is how the story allows for on-the-fly skills and profiles. It's a new step, but in my opinion, it kind of takes away the replay value. You know, I used to replay other Mass Effect games just so I could get the full biotic experience, or maybe even the full tech experience. Now you can't really do that again since everything is open to you at first gameplay, although it will make the initial playthrough a little more interesting. Either way, I'll be replaying it for the story alone, so I guess it's really not that big of a deal. But after that, Cora goes on to say that everyone on this team embodies what the Andromeda Initiative represents, and then we see a cutscene and the usual Tempest take off into the logo. You know, I always like the top view of the ship right there. You can see the Pathfinder's quarter window and the conference room windows up here at the top. Thought that was kind of neat. But before we go, guys, one last thing I wanted to go over, and that is this right here. Now, look past Alec Ryder, and what do you see? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I see the Hammerhead. Now, it's definitely not the Nomad because it doesn't have the wheels, and in place of wheels, it has a round thruster, as you can see in the front left there. More so than that, the top of it kind of looks like the same shape as the previous Hammerhead. Also notice that this is not the garage inside the Tempest. This one is way bigger, and there is enough space in this hangar for 2 or even 3 of whatever that thing is behind him. Now, of course, you know, I don't know this for sure, but take a good look, guys, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Maybe it's just some kind of, I don't know, space forklift? Anyways, that's it, guys. Just a quick overview of the team that we will soon get to know. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting my channel. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter at SlyNation or even on Facebook at SlyNation Gaming. It's the best place to see news, updates, and the latest videos coming out of my channel. Could not do this without each and every one of you guys, so keep an eye out for more videos coming out of SlyNation here soon. But until then, this is your dude Sly, and I will see you all later.